Loyalty, having or showing complete and constant support. Loyalty can be one of the best or one of the worst things in a person's life. It all depends on to what and to whom it is given. It depends on what comes back in return. Who is loyal to you? How do you know? What is true loyalty?
Nothing can interfere with good decisions quite like loyalty, especially when you give it to the wrong people. Misplaced loyalty, loyalty built on guilt, fear, or need can ruin a household. It can ruin a whole community. We will beat ourselves up out of guilt, out of shame, out of fear, all things that keep a person trapped by what they think is loyalty. As violent and destructive as he was, I remained loyal to my dad for a long time. I could have called the police on him. I should have, but I didn't. In spite of everything, I loved him. Right or wrong, he had my loyalty. And that's what makes loyalty so potentially dangerous. Right and wrong don't always factor in. It hampers you from doing what you're supposed to do. It can also serve as an excuse to hide behind. Maybe you're afraid to do the right thing, or maybe you just don't want to. I knew a man whose best friend accidentally shot a family member. He was ordered to kill the friend, but he wouldn't do it. He couldn't do it. His loyalty to the family, which was mostly based on coercion and guilt, wasn't as powerful as the loyalty he felt for his friend, which was based on actual love. True loyalty is never coerced. It's freely given. It's in our DNA. It's one of the biggest parts of Jesus' story. Both his life and his death were heavily influenced by loyalty. And loyalty is what he expects of us. He expects trust, commitment, and dedication. False loyalty comes and goes with our needs and our wants. But true loyalty is love. Unshakable, unbreakable love. And it always does the right thing.
If you're in a broken state, that loyalty can ultimately kill you. Maybe in the flesh, maybe like 6 feet under dead, or that loyalty can kill you spiritually, kill your hope, kill your joy, kill your identity, your true identity. Loyalty is a very tricky word. And I pray that those that are hearing this get an understanding of what they need to be loyal to and not continue being loyal to those things because it's a part of the game, it's a part of the street life, because most who have been loyal to the streets aren't here anymore.
So how do we keep ourselves, our joy, our identity, and our hope alive? How do we get and give true loyalty? Number 1, go back to the beginning. What did loyalty look like the first time we saw it? Was it healthy and full of hope? Or was our very first picture of loyalty set in a broken frame?
Parents did drugs, so I came onto it very, very easily because I just found all their paraphernalia to start up it. So my dark side started before I even knew it, because all I had to do was, the old cliche of look under their mattress. How are you gonna tell me to do right when you don't? How are you gonna tell me to stay off drugs when you don't? It didn't make sense.
It's hard to give something you've never had.
I came home the day I turned 18, and she had everything packed up out on the front steps, and the locks were changed. And I was a pretty good kid. I mean, I wasn't into the drugs. I wasn't, getting in trouble in any way, shape, or form. I was a good kid. I was just pushing boundaries like normal teenagers do. And she said that she was done with me. I was on my own, and that her responsibility towards me was over. So I was on my own at 18. And I was unprepared for adulthood, absolutely unprepared for adulthood. I had no clue. I was scared to death.
It creates a hole where trust is supposed to be.
That support that you need of friends and family and loved ones and people you can lean on in the community. I didn't have any of that. And I had a big hole in my whole existence. It just wasn't in my gut or in my soul. It was my whole existence was empty.
Number 2, revisit the times you got it wrong. Even if we started out in a home full of love and loyalty, somewhere along the way, we forgot what it looked like. Blinded by something shiny, we forgot how to give it.
Addiction makes us very selfish. It's very self-centered. I was addicted to crack. I had a severe crack addiction and intravenous drug use and methamphetamines. And I couldn't go 15 minutes without being high. I had suppressed and hurt and just the shame and the guilt of what I was doing to my kids. I just was in bondage and just couldn't get out. I was addicted. And anybody who is watching, they know what I'm talking about. That means more to you than anything. It takes over your life. It causes you to do things that you never, ever dreamed that you would do.
Fooled by something that looked similar, we forgot who deserves it.
I was very loyal to my friends in the East Side. We had a very tight-knit group. Everybody had their own little nickname. Everybody knew each other really well. We helped each other whenever needed. It didn't matter what you helped them with, but you made sure that you were there for whoever called. When it came to like what your parents told you to do, you just ignored it. But you stayed tight-nipped with your friends because those are the people that had your back.
Living in denial, we told ourselves we'd get as much as we gave.
When I finally seen the loyalty from him, here it is, he had been in and out of jail. I always stood by him. But when I went to jail and got in trouble, wasn't no loyalty there. He moved on. And that started opening my eyes up, what love he cared for me. We didn't have the same bond, the same love that I had for him. I was doing 22 months, and he didn't send me one dime, not one card, nothing. I've talked to him every now and then on the phone through somebody else. They hadn't seen him. He's doing this and doing this. Had me thinking he had sent me something. Here it is, I'm questioning the guards and writing all kind of kites and saying they playing with my mail. And he was nothing. It was just still that brainwash, They, took my mail and I sent it, even told me some dates he sent it off and you can track it. No, yeah.
Confused, we dedicated ourselves to protecting people who would happily betray us to save themselves.
I started dealing drugs in Northside when I moved back down there. And I was slowly turning into competition for some people that I actually thought were my friends, but later on realized they weren't. I was getting jumped quite frequently, and that caused enough problems for me to want to call up people from my old crew to come and deal with these characters.
Loyalty is what got me put in prison. I was always down for my crew, and I was the one, I would take a charge for somebody. I would go in, yep, I'm not gonna narc on my boys. I'll be there. I'll be loyal to them. I'll be loyal to them. And while I was sitting in prison and the crew that I was loyal to was narking and blaming me.
Out of fear, we remained loyal to people, to choices, to a way of life that would kill us and not shed a tear.
You know, they'd put me up and say, when the first vice lord come up on this corner, I want you to shoot him, you know? This is how you gonna, you're gonna be a part of the, the elite part of the game, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna just be holding the bags no more, man. Saying you're gonna be walking with us and stuff, I'm saying, with the big hats. And so, I've done that. I've done that a few times in my life, And, by them telling me what to do. And everything they told me and stuff, I did it because I wanted to be accepted.
My mom and dad would drive, religiously, once a week at least, an hour and a half to come visit me for an hour, maybe two, and then drive another hour and a half home. And that's like a huge chunk of their day. It's half their day or more devoted to me. And I think that realization started to come to me over the years.
Just ate me up. I cried all the time. I was depressed, and just, in the back of my mind, like, if I hadn't she hadn't seen me do the stuff I did, she wouldn't have did that, Here it is, went from an A student, never had no problem, never had been in no trouble, had just graduated, was getting ready to go to college. How could you just get in trouble, boom, just show you how easy trouble is to get in.
Number 4, identify, give, and walk in true loyalty. What does true loyalty look like? Have the things and the people we've given our complete and constant support to brought us life, joy, and hope? If we are going to change our lives, we must be loyal to the changes.
We met in prison, and she wrote me the entire time I was at CIP. And when we got out, I was ecstatic to see her. And I started hanging out with her and babysitting her son. And when I realized she was doing heroin, and I would call her and her son would be crying in the background, I knew that I had to end that friendship. Another friend got into an abusive relationship, and I tried. I'm not Superman. I can't save anyone. Even though I saw it happening, all I can do is when she does reach out, let her know I'm there. But I can't be involved in that with her. I can't save her. I can't make her see the path she's going down. A friend getting a DWI. Yeah, you can call me. I'll come pick you up from the jail, but I'm not gonna hang out with you while you're riding around and drinking. I'm not gonna hang out with you while you're doing anything sketchy that could get us in trouble. But you know what? I showed up at her graduation when she just went to treatment again. So finding those boundaries with your friends.
So I came back and I sat in a cell, and it was really difficult. I didn't know what to do. I was in the cell, and it was the first time the cell walls were actually closing in on me, and I could feel it. And I didn't know, I had high anxiety, and I wanted to run. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to run. I was very freaked out. And it was then I got on my knees and I prayed. I told him, come into my heart, take this away from me. And as soon as I got done praying, like that, my heart slowed down. My chest went easy. My mind went free. And I was settled. I believe Jesus is truly loyal to me. He's like a good friend, a great friend, somebody I can always talk to when nobody's around, or even when people are around and get the weird stares. He's given me a beautiful house, a beautiful wife, an awesome daughter who's childlike, just like I am childlike. He's given me a family, and he's shown me what family is for. He's given me respect for a family, which things that I have never known about. He's been super patient with me. He's constantly fighting the devil around me.
And then we must decide, Do we want His loyalty? Do we believe He will give it?
He's become my everything. I feel like I'm so close and intimate with the God who created the universe. I mean, who gets to do that? Everybody. Everybody can do that. And just because I have it doesn't mean you don't get to get it, you know? And that's what I love about God, that He's not exclusionary. He doesn't say, well, you're too far gone. Yeah, you've done too much crap. Oh, you know, you're too good. You know, and none of those spectrums get turned away. Everybody gets to come and enjoy that peace. And it's just the choosing of it. Do you want to? Do you want to know a God who loves you more than anything else? I do.
Once we get it, we're finally free to give it.
I may only have one chance, and this may be it. You know, I'm blessed with this opportunity, and I'm gonna do right by those who put the stock into me and those who have given me the opportunity to live life on this side of the wall again.
They bring in the uncle of my victim, and I'm just like, wow. You know, when they brought him in, I was like, okay, I didn't know that. And we get in there, they asked me, did you commit this crime? And I said, yes, sir. And do you have a problem with this guy? And I said, no, sir. And so we're sitting there, and then they go to him, and they said, well, do you have a problem with Jose? And he just shocked me. He says, no, that's my brother in Christ. Like, what? So then in my head, I'm trying to justify, like, or relate to myself, why am I going through this then if you believe that? And he said, no, I forgive him for what he did. I was just shocked. I mean, I couldn't even say anything. There's nothing to say. And he said there, he says, yeah, I watched Jose for 2 weeks. And he said, I wanted to know if it was real. You know, if it was real of what people were telling me. He says, it is. He says, and I forgive him.
I just know that I started sticking needles in my arms at 15. And until it was God's time for me to understand that things could be different, and until I had fallen down and hit in my head enough times, that I wasn't ready for change. But somebody stuck with me and continued to remind me that I was better than the decisions that I was making. And so my hope is that I am that voice for someone else, that I can believe in someone else enough until they can believe in themselves.
One of the best things in life is to receive and to give true loyalty.